About the workplace again and go back to Mexico, because you're visiting Mexico because you're working with some Mexican LGBT activists also in launching a corporate index in Mexico that measures equality in the workplace, in the Mexican workplace. Yes. Do you see progress in that respect in Mexico?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm so excited about this project. We're calling it HRC Equidad MX. And our official partnership is with Francisco Robledo and Fernando Velasquez, two gentlemen I've known for years who collectively have expertise and experience with grassroots advocacy in country, with the corporate sector. And so really the catalyst for this project began several years ago when I visited Mexico City as a guest of the U.S. Embassy. And we visited American Express. We visited some other U.S.-based businesses that had a high score, for example, on our Corporate Equality Index. That's our big report every year that measures the extent to which big companies are LGBT inclusive. And, while the commitment was there, the actual policies, the structure around it had not yet fully translated to a Mexican environment. And so what we're doing is taking that same formula that worked stateside and that we're also seeing work in other parts of the world, and we are appealing not just to a fundamental sense of fairness for Mexican companies, but to their fundamental sense of competition. Because when they see Accenture, IBM, Dow, American Express, literally dozens of their peers investing in LGBT inclusion, that is really what's going to be the game changer here in Mexico. And so through this partnership, we are providing resources, toolkits, bringing together peer-to-peer business forums so that we can demystify this. Because for a lot of businesses, it just has not been something that they've really tackled in a comprehensive way. And in addition to hearing from me and from our partners on the ground here, there's nothing like them hearing from their peers in the industry and hearing them say, you know what, I realize there's some anxieties here, but once we did this, it made perfect business sense. Or, you wouldn't believe that once you start the conversation on LGBT inclusion in the workplace, you'll have allies come from around the organization. People will really have a renewed sense of pride in their employers.
But also people who are not that happy with that, isn't it?
That is conventional wisdom would say that there's, going to be some discord around it. And our experiences are that it just doesn't pan out, not in a significant number. And, there are so many other reference points that we can bring up. One of my favorite moments in my job, I was doing a training for a gaming company, so a company that owns casinos around the world. And in the training, someone asked, what about religious objections to LGBT inclusion? And I respectfully said that, while that's true, we're standing here in a gaming company. There's not a major religion that supports gambling, right? And so that's, a bit of a glib remark on my part. But the point being, no workplace is demanding that people change their religion or change their fundamental values. But all of us arrive in the workplace under the agreements of our employers. And so a person can no more say, I don't think Dena should be a manager because she's a woman, than they can, I don't think Dena should be a manager because she's LGBT. And so in many ways, those who will oppose LGBT equality, it's essentially a moot point in the workplace because the decision has been made on the premise of what is good for this as a business. And, after a point, employees are free to leave if they really disagree with it. But, what we found over and over and over again is that the concerns prior to policy changes or benefits changes really do evaporate once they're in place because people can see that it really is just business as usual.
Sure. We have 2 more minutes of this.